In this video, I'm going to tie for you the Stellako river caddis. This caddis imitates Hydropsyche larvae from the Stellako river. Now, when you hear me say Hydropsyche larvae, you'll be quite surprised to see the look of this fly, the colors in it. Typically speaking, Hydropsyche has a much darker colored olive abdomen, and the thorax and head area in Hydropsyche larvae are usually more dark brown to gray to even black. Now, on this fly, you can see it's sort of like a coppery orangey color. The reason for this is that the Hydropsyche larvae in the Stellako river are quite light colored. They get a light abdomen and a coppery color to light brown color head and thorax area. Now, to tie this fly, I'm going to use a size 12 Hanak 300 PL hook. I like this hook because it has a fairly wide gap. And I'm going to put on this hook a 1/8 or 3.2 millimeter tungsten bead in copper color. For my thread, I'm going to use 70 denier fluorescent orange. The reason why I use the orange is that it forms a nice light colored base color, and when this fly gets wet, the fly doesn't darken up too much in the water. Cut it all the way to the back. Now, to help the fly sink, I'm also going to use 0.02 lead wire. And I prefer to use the slightly thinner lead wire here, so the fly doesn't become too bulky. And I'm going to put the lead wire for about 3/4 of the hook shank. Now we're going to the front. Okay. For the rib of the fly, I'm going to use small gold wire. Tie it in here at the back, and I'm just going to then do a few wraps of thread also over the lead wire. I do this because then it prevents the lead wire from rolling when you tie your flies, and also just to provide that lighter base color underneath when the fly gets wet. Then I'm also going to include some that's going to go over the dorsal side of the fly, some 1/16 of an inch uni malar in pearl color. You can tie it in at the back. And then taper it a little bit there. Like that. A few more wraps of thread over the lead wire. Then I'm going to bring my thread right to the back again. Now for the abdomen, I'm going to use a bright and light colored dubbing in green. And I like this life cycle caddis combination of dubbings. You don't need this for this fly, as long as you can find a lighter colored green color. That would be good. I'm also going to use then the orange dubbing later on for the thorax area. If you don't have the specific dubbing, any other color, any other brand of dubbing will be just fine of similar colors. Wrap it around. Work my way to the front of the fly. And then I'm going to take the unimailer, put it over the top, tie that in, 2, 3 wraps, make sure it's secure, just wrap it back, 3 wraps again, cut the excess off, and then I'm going to take the gold wire and wrap it in the opposite direction from how I wrap the mailer, or rather the dubbing. Nice evenly spaced wraps. Wrap that in. Looks good. Cut the excess off. And then for the thorax, I'm going to use some of this orange. Now I use this orange because once it gets wet in the river, it darkens up a little bit. So it develops more of a coppery to light brown color. Now some people need to take into account when they tie their flies what the color is going to look like once it gets wet. And I'm just going to whip finish. And then the last step is to put a bit of head cement on the fly. And there you are, the Stellako river caddis. Now I do tie this specifically for the Hydropsyche larvae in the Stellako river. But this fly, if you look at the colors, easily can be used to imitate free-living Caddis or Rhyacophila Caddis larvae as well. And actually recently used it also on a trip to the East Kootenays, where I found a run and riffle rather with a lot of free-living Caddis or Rhyacophila larvae, and the fish were feeding on them, and this fly was quite good for that as well. And Rhyacophila larvae, as you know, are quite often lighter colored compared to Hydropsyche larvae. And there you are, the Stellako river caddis larvae.